Hey, did you know that God is thinking about you a lot? Let's see what the Bible says. Hey, welcome back to another Psalm. We're in Psalm chapter 139. We're coming to the end, and I encourage you, if you haven't already subscribed and you want to continue to see Bible videos like this, please make sure that you subscribe, like this video, and gently press the like button on this video, and hope this will be a blessing to you. Let's look at Psalm chapter 139. It says, O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting, mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain unto it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? David, the author of this psalm, writes that God knows everything about us. Now, shocker if you don't know much about God. God knows your thoughts. He knows the words that you've said. He knows the things you're thinking about currently, the things you're going to say, the things you're going to do. He said he even knows where I go to bed, where I lay down, and where I rise, where I walk, where I go throughout the day. God knows all of these things about us. That's the God that we serve. David says this knowledge is so wonderful to even think about, that God knows who I am. Imagine this, that the creator of the world, you're talking about the one who spoke this world into existence, that designed how our bodies function, how our brains function, our blood, our blood flows, and our organs, our lungs, our breathing, and he designed all of that. And that same God is not too busy to know what you're up to every day. And David says, whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee? Can you run from God? Of course you can't run from God. God knows exactly where you are. He says, I'm everywhere. He says, if I were to go up to the heavens, God would be there. If I go down to hell, and what he means by hell is the grave, the depths of the earth. If I go to the middle of the earth, God is there. Remember, Jonah used this same phrase, that out of the belly of hell cried I. Well, where was Jonah? He wasn't in the lake of fire that we would think of, or the afterlife. He was in the belly of the whale, in the bottom of the ocean. And so he was deep down in the heart of the earth, which is what he says here. If I go up or I go down, God is there. No matter where I go, God is there. So can we run from God? No, we cannot run from God. There are those who believe they can run from the church. They think that because they have a disagreement, and maybe rightfully so, that they can get away from the church. Yes, you can, but you cannot get away from God. And so who is your faith really in? Is your faith in the church, or is it in God, the real creator of the world? And so he says that this thought actually comforts him. He goes on in verse 10 to say, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. So he says in verse 11, if I say surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. So God, no matter where you are, God is with you. That's what David's saying. And God's holding your hand. In other words, everywhere that you go, no matter where, you can't get away from him. You can't flee from him like Jonah tried to run away from God. You can't run away from him. He's with you if you're a believer in Jesus Christ. If you're not a believer in Jesus Christ, then you have no hope. You have no one to walk with you in life's trials, life's struggles. But if you are a believer, God is with you. This is what David is saying here. And verse 14 says, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Did you know that God made you wonderfully? He made you wonderful. The way that he designed you is the way that he wanted you to be. You say, well, I wish that I was this or I was that, but you can't have this or that. You are what you are. And so God has designed you the way that you are to bring him glory. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You know, the more that you learn about your body, the more you learn about how intricate the operations of your body are. You learn that there's no way that your body was just some random clump of cells that eventually evolved into what it is today. It's not possible. It's not possible. We look at just the eye. In fact, there is no creation that man has made that can replicate the eye. There's so many amazing facts about the eye. There had to have been a designer. Well, God created you fearfully and wonderfully. You are made. Take comfort in that God knows who you are. He knows where you are. He knows what you're thinking before you even think it. He knows what you're doing. He knows where you're going to work, where you're going home. And He created you and designed you with a purpose. He goes on to say in verse 17, I love this verse. It says, how precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee. Did you know that God is thinking about you? He says that the thoughts of God are greater than the sand of the sea. Now, there's a lot of sand in the sea. If you've ever been to the beach, if you grab just a handful of sand before it's all slipped out of your hand and tried to count every little grain, it would be a monumental task. Could it be done with microscopes and things? Yes, but it would be monumental. It would be hard, and the number would be very, very high. And the Bible says that God thinks about you more than He thinks about the sand, more than He thinks about the earth or the creation, the trees and the birds and the animals. God thinks more about you. He says how great is the sum of them. In other words, if you were to add them all up, it's a great number. And He says they are more than the sand of the sea. God is thinking about you. I know for me, as I'm a Bible teacher and preacher, I talk about, hey, are we thinking about God? And yeah, that's a good question, right? And we think, I need to meditate on Him and His Word. But did you know that God's thinking about you? You could never think about God as much as He's thinking about you. And what a comforting thing to know. Our God loves us so much. He's not too busy for us, but He's actually thinking about you. Have you ever been thinking about somebody and then they called or texted you and you said, I was just thinking about you? That's how God feels when we give our prayers to Him. Hey, I was thinking about you this morning. God's thinking about you. What an encouragement. He goes on to say in verse 23 and 24, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Now, David just said that God knows everything in his heart. He knows his thoughts. He knows his words and his deeds. So now in verse 23, he's telling God to search Him in order to know Him. Now, this is interesting because God already knows my thoughts. So David is not giving God permission to enter his brain, so to speak. David is saying to God, God, I submit to the fact that you know all things, and I want you to show me what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. He says in verse 24, see if there be any wicked way in me. When was the last time you prayed and just said, God, is there something that I'm doing that you don't want me to do? We try to be communicative in our relationships, whether it's boss, employee, husband, wife, father, son. We try to say, hey, listen, this has really been bothering me. This thing that you're doing, I don't like it. And I want you to know how I feel. When was the last time we said that to God? God, I want you to tell me and show me what it is that I'm doing that's right or what it is that I'm doing wrong. And even though we know God knows all things, He says, search me, God. I want you to find something in me that you don't want there. And if there's something that you don't want, let me know, because I love you and I don't want to do anything that's displeasing to you. One of the arguments against God and against religion is, if God created me this way, then why would He want me not to be this way? If God created me with a desire to do this or to be this way or to do this thing, then why would He want me to change? A better argument would be to the creator of the world, but the creator of me, why would I not want to stay within the guidelines of the manual that He's given to me? It's the same way if you try to put together a dresser or a piece of furniture. You can try to put it together your own way, and whatever way feels good to you, and whatever's the easiest way, whatever comes first to mind, but it's probably not going to be the right way, and it's probably not going to function correctly. And so it is with God. We should be asking Him, God, how do you want me to live? What is your design for me? What is your purpose for me? And so I pray that was a blessing to you. Psalm chapter 139. Make sure you give it a read when you are available. And please like, share, comment, subscribe. We want to get these videos out to everybody that we can. If you're not a believer in Jesus Christ, you can go to my channel and watch my testimony as to how Jesus has made a difference in my life and how I came to know Jesus Christ. I know that will be a blessing to you. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow with another psalm.